Good evening, everyone. Good evening to everyone who is going to come onto the show, the Stiletto Foodie show with Ethel Da Costa. Today is episode 7, and it's a beautiful month. It is my September month because it's my birthday month, so I love September. We are ushering, a new kind of flavor to the food, a new kind of sensibility. I feel very festive every September, and my entire focus then becomes to kind of add a give back to everything that I do in my work, in my writing, and now the shows that I've been hosting on Facebook. I think this is the third month that the shows have been on, doing beautifully well. Thank you to all of you who make it a point to kind of come every Friday onto the Stiletto Foodie page with your friends and with fans and people who love food. All come together, and we have such beautiful showcases of people that put out what really resonates with them, which is food stories, which is stories about food and culture and how it relates to their own lives. So today, the entire theme of the Stiletto Foodie show with Ethel Da Costa, episode 7, is on the theme of food doing good, or the feeling of give back, the feeling of creating good with food. My principle has always been, food for world peace. I keep saying that because I think, food has such a healing, regenerative, rejuvenating power to, make friendships, to bring peace, to make love, to sit down at a table and exchange, friendship, companionship over great food and wine and whatever that is being cooked from kitchen to the table. Lovely stories that have happened from farm to table chefs, on supporting ecology and supporting the entire green movement, supporting organic, organic, healthy way of eating. There are chefs who were online with us to speak about the power of veganism. And today we have two, sterling, a different class in their own personalities from Malaysia, who have been doing great food, but also have been doing even greater give back to society through food and their own food and meals initiatives for Malaysia's underprivileged and the marginalized. So I have Julie Das. Real pleasure for me to have her on my show. She has been busy with a little bit of travel and doing whatever that she does with her organization. I have her today, and I have SHANKAR SANTHIRAM, very popular in the media industry as a columnist, for Free Malaysia Today. He's on Lite FM, in the mornings talking about leadership and coaching and empowerment. So let me introduce my first guest today, who's Julie Das. Julie Das has been 8 years, in the entire volunteering segment, right from being in Calcutta and working with this organization called Balo for 8 years as a volunteer. Then from Calcutta, moving on to supporting, the initiative of street kids in Yangon and fundraising for them. And after doing that stint successfully, Julie returned to Malaysia in 2017 and has been in Malaysia since that time. She is a part-time French teacher, loves what she does, and also in the middle of all her, work, also co-founded Greater Action. Greater Action is an NGO for Afghan refugees, and we all know that Afghanistan is in the spotlight. It's a huge global crisis that is happening there, and some of the material that I have been reading and watching is very heartbreaking, actually, because it is such a global crisis that is happening there, and we understand that more and more people who really feel from the heart, countries and leaders and organizations need to reach out and do much more, to make sure that a section of humanity which is underprivileged, which is, not in a good state and good frame, emotionally, physically, psychologically, needs our help and support. So it is such an honor for me to have Julie Das joining us today to speak about the work of her organization called Greater Action in Malaysia. I've been reading about them, and they've been doing such a fantastic job, to all their volunteers who have been supporting in the initiatives of education, educating young children, supporting and creating support systems for women, distressed women, emotionally kind of, women in need of medical assistance, of uplifting their lives in the social, economic, space. Julie and her team in Malaysia, uh, I keep reading, what they do. A fantastic job and fantastic work of reaching out continuously to create this, this chain of give back, even during the lockdown, that was on. So let's bring Julie Das online and have her join our show. Julie, are you there? There you are. Hi.
Yes, I am. Hello.
Hi. Hi, and good evening, Julie. And such a pleasure to have you join the Stiletto Foodie show with Ethel Da Costa, episode 7. Welcome.
Selamat malam. Bonsoir. Good evening. Thanks for having me. That's all with my Bahasa, I'm afraid. Okay.
Great, Julie. Yes, great.
Yes. Tell me what.
So you've
Yeah.
been in Malaysia for such a long time, right?
Yes, I've been here 20 years actually. I came for 2 years just for a change. After living in Europe for that long, I thought being married to an Indian man, I'll have to see the other side of the world. We came for 2 years, and it's been 20. So I feel half Malaysian to some extent.
Yeah, I think 20 years is already, it's like a certified stamp that says you are Malaysian. Can't be half Malaysian anymore. So yeah, so let's get into, the show, completely, heart and soul into it. Today's theme is about, food. Food has the power to do good, and we have been seeing such great initiatives happening around the concept of doing good through, support that is happening by reaching out to, the underprivileged section of Malaysia, and doing a give back through food, through all these meals that are happening. And I thought it was such a great story to be told, to all our friends and people who join into the show every Friday. Julie, let's talk about your life in France, in Calcutta, and then Malaysia, because you've had such an interesting journey. You've been in Calcutta for 8 years, volunteering for an NGO there, and then from there you went on to another different stint, and then finally in Malaysia, right? Let's talk about that entire journey.
Okay. Well, it starts in Paris. I won't tell you how many years ago, otherwise you'll guess my age. Started in Paris, where I was born and brought up. Never felt really like a typical French, and I knew that I have another mission out there, and that I wouldn't be living in France for my entire life. I just
Yes.
can't explain it why, but it just felt like that. So when I was 20, I left for Germany, and that's where I studied. I studied actually business administration, though I was absolutely not my dream. I wanted to go into social work, but
Okay.
my parents at that time said, you know what, do something more safe and secure. So I followed the instruction as a good girl, came to Germany and met my Indian husband. And after 8 years, we realized we need to, like I told you, to see the other side of the world. So we came to Malaysia. From Malaysia, after I started to teach French. I teach IGCSE.
Okay.
Then he got posted in India, where he's from, Calcutta, and there my humanitarian, I'd say, action started. So I joined forces with an organization called Balo. Balo means in Bengali, everything is fine. It's an educational charity that supports children from the slum area. It's just outside of Calcutta. So my job was to teach, as well as to find sponsors and help them with their emotional learning as well.
Okay.
So I did that for many years, and that was I think my first call, because India, no need to mention, is very tough living condition.
Yes.
Then yeah,
Especially in Calcutta.
especially
You know,
Calcutta. Yeah,
yes.
if I can say, if there's one place to see in India, it's Calcutta. It is the nicest people in the world. Anyway, I'm being biased.
Mhm.
Then came back to KL, continued teaching, and very soon we were actually sent to Yangon, Myanmar, and there
Mhm.
I joined forces with the Linkage. Linkage is a program to help the street youngsters, so the teens
Mm.
16 onwards, with vocational training. So we're providing them F&B training so that they could work in restaurant. Yeah, so we did that for 2 years, then came back, and since then been in Malaysia and not going anywhere. That was in 2017.
Mm.
I helped different projects here with the Myanmar refugee. That's how I started, because I was just coming from Myanmar and I was very attached to them. So
Okay.
I helped different schools or learning centers here with fundraising, creating activities and awareness. But then, in 2019, when the pandemic hit, that's when I started Greater Action,
Yes. Yeah. Because
my own baby.
yeah, correct. And I love that name. I love that name of which is Greater Action, because it has
Yes.
such a dynamic kind of very powerful feel to it of what it can do, right? So
Yes.
so so how all of us or people who don't know Greater Action would like to know, how did
Hmm.
Greater Action start and why the cause of Afghan refugees? I found that very interesting, and I wanted to kind of ask you that.
Yeah. So I really connected with the Afghan refugee women. I spent
Hmm.
lots of hours listening to their tragic stories. It was really heartbreaking. It was
Hmm.
just
Hmm.
terrible. Some had lost their pregnancies. They've lost loved ones. Some were sexually abused. Honestly, I have never seen so much of misery. Yeah, and I was
Hmm.
spending
Hmm.
hours and hours in the Afghan Learning Center, and I was trying to understand what was going on. So at the beginning, I was just a listening ear, but I wanted to help. And after that, I digged into it, and I realized that, wow, the status of the refugee in Malaysia is hell. Actually,
Hmm.
they have no legal rights, so they have no access to legal jobs. They have no kids can't be sent to local schools.
Hmm. Hmm.
Uh, they have very limited access to healthcare, and they have no freedom of movement. And I was just like, it can't be true. Someone has to do something. So I knew I had to do something, and I knew I had to take action. And
Hmm.
I
Hmm.
that's how I got started. So why the Afghan community? It was, I'd say, a coincidence. I connected very well with the leader at that time, and
Okay.
we worked very well together. She was called Nahid, and I thank her for guiding me through. And now I'm not on my own. I created Great Action on my own, but I have a huge team, of supporters and right hand, left hand. I mean, I wouldn't be able to do half of what I'm doing if I didn't have all my angels around me. Yeah.
Yeah, because I keep a track, right, of what is what the organization does, and I can see that there are a lot of volunteers who support,
Yes.
right, in the cause of teaching
Yes.
and education and all that. Yeah, well done, Julie, well
Yeah,
done.
well, it started very small, as in the first idea was to help them with food provision.
Mm-hmm.
So I collected some fund together with a Malay friend of mine, Yasmin. It was Ramadan. Maybe we were lucky. I don't know. During
Mm-hmm.
Ramadan, I must say that people are very keen to support and to feed the needy ones. So we
Yes.
collected quite a big amount of money, and we started buying from wholesalers food provision, nutritious food,
Okay.
which we distributed to more than 700 families. So that was a big action. And from then on, I moved on to education, which is my baby and my
It's a core
core.
passion. Yeah, it's
It's
a
my
passion.
passion, because I know that education is the only way to break the cycle of poverty. Yeah, you
Yes.
give a good platform to those kids, though they are displaced, they're refugee, they will do so well. I have seen it in Calcutta, I've seen it in Yangon, I see it here. I'm getting shivers just talking to you. Those kids they're amazing. They're actually much more resilient than any other kids. They're so hardworking. I mean, during this pandemic, we were
Yes.
giving them homework on papers and they were so happy. There was nothing at that time online in place, right? And it's really very heartwarming to see that. So we have an educational program whereby people like you and me can sponsor a child's education on a monthly basis.
Okay.
Then we have monthly food provision distribution. Yeah, so
Mm,
we
mm,
select.
mm.
It's very difficult to select needy families. All of them are, but you see a
Yes.
family that's been jobless for 6 months with a family member that is sick and maybe with infant. That obviously will be a priority for us. Yeah.
Right.
So we try to find the most needy among the needy. Yeah. Then we
Correct.
have a very important project, which is Greater Action Academy. And that was founded together with Miss Maddie. She's back to England, but she has created it with all her heart. She's a teacher and she trained our volunteers to teach English online for young adults. And for that, we have more than 25 volunteers, all native speakers. And we teach English. We have 3 levels and a 4th level coming up soon.
Wow.
And that has really made a huge difference to them.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's a lot, Julie. That's a lot.
Yeah, well, that's nothing.
That's a lot, right? Yes. And generally speaking, I've been here like what, I think so 16 months in Malaysia now. Having traveled, extensively. I strongly believe that Malaysia is a very compassionate country.
Yes.
There's a great, compassion is very natural. It comes very naturally to people. People are generally very giving in that sense, right?
Yes, I agree. I agree with you 100%. Yeah, especially compared to the country I'm from. Malaysians are very generous, and you just need to. One of my thing is really to open people's eyes and to explain them the reality. And once people understand the reality of the refugees, they're very happy to give. So it's a part of my job is to raise awareness as well, not only asking for money. I really put a lot of effort in that. And for that, we work with international schools. So we take the help of young, dynamic, self-driven students between actually 12 to 17. We put them into project, they get empowered and they help us to raise awareness on Instagram and so on. And that is very, very impactful. Yes.
Yes, because then you're also empowering and encouraging and inspiring the young people to become, to already become compassionate in action, and to, as they grow up, they become, conscientious individuals as well. Because they understand, the power of giving back. I love that. I love that idea actually. That you kind of start them young, and then they become, could probably even champion what you do, or grow it up, for you as well, right? Yeah, sounds so good. Sounds very beautiful to me. When I got to know the story, I was like, oh, I got to have Julie, onto the Stiletto Foodie, because what you also do is great food, and I think and it kind of just gels so well. So let's hear about what what do you do? What does Greater Action do to kind of to sustain itself, right? What kind of activities that it do to sustain itself, and of course, food is part of it.
Yes. So actually, we have decided that if the refugees can't go and get jobs outside, we need to create jobs, and it has to be home-based jobs. So I looked into the community and I just asked them, what can you do, guys? What are your skills?
Yes.
And they were all amazing cooks. I said, fine, it's amazing because I'm absolutely not a good cook. So I'll be there to taste your food, right? I asked them to cook different dishes. And that's how we started. So it's Afghan traditional food. The little twist I would say is that it's a healthy version of it. Being French, there's no way out. We have to have healthy food, right? So it's
Yes.
not oily, premium ingredient. Yeah, we make sure that that all is there. So, but it's very traditional. We've not changed the recipe as such. Yeah. So can I show you a few of the dishes, or
Yes.
shall I? Yeah.
So before we do that,
Yeah.
we have comments also happening. I'm going to bring them
Yeah.
online.
Yes.
So that it's I love it when when friends join in from different parts of the world. So I have Brian here. Brian is joining us from the US. Brian is a very ardent, passionate food writer himself, and I'm sure that the Afghan food has interested him. So he's made the time to log in from the US. Thank you, Brian. It means so much to us. Thank you for joining in.
Yeah.
This is
Exciting.
Brian. Yes. I also have, this other friend of mine from Labuan, Mimi. Mimi says, "Hi, Ethel. Almost missed." So she missed missed the show last Friday, and she was like, "I have to make it this time somehow or the other." So Mimi is here saying she's very excited. I'm very excited to see you and hear your voices. Mimi, thank you for joining in and for making the time. I hope all your cooking team from Labuan who were competing at the Madaka competition are also joining in. It's always great to learn about other foods and other food cultures. So thank you. Thank you for joining in. Yes, over to you. Over to you, Julie. Let's go for it.
Okay, but today you'll only see the food. I'll be the one who will eat it later on. Okay, all right. But a little story, because there are amazing women behind this project, so
Yes.
I need to mention the name. So we have
Sure.
3 dedicated cooks: Fatima, Masume, and Sakina. Yeah, all came with their own personal stories, and I think I told you I was so touched by them, and they were so committed to change their life and to cook for others. So that's how
Yes.
I kind of chose them, and they're amazing, really amazing, and they do it with so much of passion, so much of attention for details. They just love it. They get so much of pride also cooking. They always tell
Yeah.
me we're so happy, and it keeps them away from overthinking, as they say, diverts from the day-to-day life, which is tough. And
Yes.
that's my intention, is to offer this opportunity to many more women.
Mm.
If we get more orders, then many more women can get engaged. And very
Yes.
important to say is, we Greater Action, we are just a liaison, as in
Mm.
we are not making a single ringgit on whatever people order. So we just
Okay.
facilitate, we help them, but that's it, right? We don't take any money. Okay,
Lovely.
so this is the first dish. Can you
Wow.
see it?
Okay.
Okay,
Yes.
this is called Kabuli Pulao. So
Kabuli
pulao,
Pulao. Hmm.
yes, Kabuli Pulao. So that one, it used to be a dish prepared in Kabul, like the name
Okay.
says, for
Yes.
rich people.
Hmm.
It's
Oh. All right.
actually it's rice with caramelized carrots and
Hmm.
raisins. Sometimes it comes with nuts, so you can
Okay.
order it with nuts or without. And now today it's no more for rich people. It's a staple food, so it's
Right.
every day on their dish. Yeah, isn't it
So
beautiful?
it is. So is the Kabuli Pulao a version of the biryani, kind of?
No. There is another dish called biryani. This one is
Oh,
it's just pulao.
okay,
Pulao.
okay.
How would you translate that in English?
I think
I
it's just
don't.
pulao.
It's just pulao. Okay.
Pulao. Both of us don't
Okay.
cook. You remember, both of us don't cook. We just have a good appetite for food.
Yes, exactly. But pulao, I knew it from India as well.
Yes, yeah.
In French, it's called pilaf. In case we have
Pilaf.
some French people
Pilaf is
listening.
very Persian also. It's very Persian
Ah, see.
pilaf. Yeah.
Today, I brought this other dish because it's our bestseller.
Okay.
Can you see that? It's called
Yes.
Borani Banjan. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
So
Wow. That looks
it's
good.
amazing. This is a layered roasted eggplant done in a fresh tomato sauce. Yeah. I
Okay.
put some rice here because it can be eaten with rice. And there is
Mhm.
also a little yogurt sauce with mint and garlic, which you can pour on it. So it's a hot seller because a lot of people like to eat vegetarian food nowadays.
Yes,
Yeah,
and that tribe is growing in Malaysia. I've noticed that.
exactly.
Yeah.
Yes. Then we have the famous Bolani. Yeah. So Bolani is a flat
Hmm.
bread, which is made with potato, leek, or green onions. Yeah. So
Okay.
you can also eat it with yogurt, or you
Hmm.
can dip it with the dal, with the lentils, which I'll show you later. So yeah, it's just a side dish, and it can be a nice snack. I like to compare it with paratha. Yeah,
Okay.
but
Yes.
it's not that oily, and it's potato base, so it's
Oh, okay.
healthy. Yes.
Wow. That looks really good. Looks really
Yes.
good. I'm already hungry, which is not fair now.
Haha. Well, you know where I live, so you can
Yes.
come over. There's plenty. Okay, and this one is also a hot seller. This is mantu and ashak. I think people know ashak more. It's actually dumplings. Yeah. So we
Okay.
have here the vegetarian version, again with green onions, coriander, and leek, right? And that
Hmm.
is eaten with. So I take my spoon. There is a little sauce here of crispy lentils. So you put it on top. Yeah.
Okay.
And then you take some yogurt sauce, the one with mint and garlic, and
Okay.
you put it on it. And then you take it. I don't know if I should eat it in front of you, but I think I will.
Go for it, Julie. Just go for it. Oh my God. Oh, I
Mm.
I can almost taste the juices out of it.
My God.
No?
Yeah. Every time it's like the first time. You know what I'm
Hmm.
saying? Yeah.
Yes.
It's
Yes.
amazing. So it comes. White has two names because one has a round shape, the
Okay.
other one a bit more like a crescent shape, and basically they are both dumplings, and they come either vegetarian, chicken,
Ah,
or beef. Yeah, so you can
wow.
choose
Okay.
when you order.
Okay. Wow.
Voila.
Wow. And we have, our friends have also got excited. They're all like, and they're all joining us now. They're all joining us from India as well. So Arya Huda, who has joined us, says, lovely cooking. Arya, thank you for joining in, and stay on to the show because Julie has lots to share, in the entire food and how Afghan food, is so tasty, and you can already see she's smacking her lips there. So thank you for joining in. I have May joining in saying hello, hello. Yeah, May, we have to hit that Arab corner, in Bukit Bintang. So we've made plans now, having watched, knowing that we were going to have a showcase of Afghani food, that we need some sort of Middle Eastern flavors ourselves. So May is saying, looks good. Yeah, it does. And from watching Julie smack her mouth, as she's eats it, I'm sure it tastes really good. Um,
It's very flavored. Yeah, it's not spicy. We use a lot of fresh ingredients. And for our
yes.
Indian friends, because I have one at home who likes spicy, you can
Mm-hmm.
request when you order for spicy, and then we would add on. But traditionally, Afghan people do not eat spicy.
Okay, all right. Yeah, but people have
Yeah.
a choice. They have an option to kind of add
Yes, they have
spices
an
if they want,
option. We also take people with allergies, or gluten free or nut allergy. And so you just have to mention it, and because everything is cooked fresh on the day, even few hours before we
Oh,
deliver,
okay.
everything can be custom made.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. So May, who's watching us now, you know how to reach Julie. What we will do is also drop in her contacts and links, in our chat boxes, so we can always order and have like a feast. So she says, if only I could get through the screen grab some of those yummy dishes. I know, so
Yeah.
tempting. Yeah, so tempting. See, everyone is kind of responding, saying so tempting, and the pulao looks good. The pulao just
Yes, it
look
does.
good. Yes,
I think I'll have a spoon just to share the good things, because you guys can't eat it, but I can.
you can. Yeah,
You know,
you also have.
the sweetness of the carrot, it just adds on to that basmati rice. It's amazing. This one is quite addictive.
Wow. So, is there any kind of dish where the local rice is used? 'Cause I know that a lot of basmati rice is used, in cooking in Malaysia.
Yeah. No,
And
we use basmati rice. They don't. I mean, there is an Afghan rice which we're not able to get. So, but the basmati rice is the closest to what they would use. It's like long and thin, crispy,
okay,
if you can say. Yeah, long and thin. Yeah,
okay. So we have.
grainy. Yeah,
All right, that sounds good. So yes,
yeah.
we have friends who are also saying, I appreciate Mrs. Julie. She really helps us. Yes, I think what Julie is also is doing is really awesome work, Julie. Congratulations to you again, because I've heard a lot of good things about greater action in Malaysia. So kudos to you to be able to kind of reach out there and support and help.
It's not only me. I need to mention some people of my team because they are, I call them my angels, but I wouldn't be where I am today without them. Yeah. So there is Nisha, who is helping in the academy. She's also helping running the student project. Yeah. And all the donation, I forgot to mention, but ongoing, we collect donation of material for baby as well. And we send them to the families. So this is Nisha. And then we have Shraddha, who is my right hand. She helps me in so many ways to communicate with the rest of the world. So she's taking care of the social media. Yeah. And then there is Stacy, who is in charge of the cookies project, because today I didn't bring any cookies because our cookies are Western cookies, American and French. So I thought it's not appropriate, but it's good to mention that we have beautiful chocolate chips cookies, brownies, and children are crazy for them. They are less healthy, a bit addictive, but they are amazing.
Yeah, but it's all for a good cause. So be it. It's all
Yes,
for a good cause. It's
exactly.
all for a
All for
great
a good
cause.
cause.
Yeah, it
all for a
supports
good
people.
cause.
It
Yeah.
supports people. It supports the children. It supports all the women that you're working with. From the comments that we can see, there's Meena here who's saying she's a one woman one woman army. Who's kind of who helps women, men, children. She also has you're also helping a husband who I think who's doing some sort of some bit of
Yes.
tailoring and stuff. Yes,
Can you give me a second to speak about our tailoring project?
there's a lot
Yeah.
of there's a lot of there's a lot of compassion, love that I can see that's coming here, from the community that you are part of. Great work, Julie.
Yes.
Really great work. Yes, you were showing us something. You were showing us
I
something.
was
I like
showing
that.
you this
I like that.
because
I
I know
like that.
today the focus is on food, but that is an accessory. It's actually made by our tailors. So again, they work from home, who recycle material. This is made from a Muslim dress. Yeah. So
Okay.
yeah. So we actually, it's padded. It's a chapati Bolani tortilla holder. So you have, it comes with a towel, and you take your Bolani, you wrap it inside after making it, or after it has arrived for delivery because you're not making it, and then you put it in that holder and keep it on the table, and it remains hot. Isn't it beautiful?
Yeah, that looks
Yeah.
good.
So
Can you
this is
also use?
one
Can you also
of the
use
things.
a hot water bottle into that? Just
Hot
saying.
water bottle? No,
No.
you can't. It's a quilt material, which is also recycle. Yeah.
Recycled,
So
yes.
we do a lot. We create a lot of accessories, bags, and home linen. You see the pillows are behind me. They're also been done by the tailors. This is also a sustainable project that we've launched about more than a year ago. We have tailors working from home. They can copy, duplicate dresses for men and women, as well as we create accessories and home linen for to brighten up your living room or your home.
But I think your bestseller and your mainstay is the food that you are really putting
Yes,
out
it
there.
is. It is. Because especially now during the pandemic, you had two type of people. You have the one who became master chef, and the one who decided to order food. So fortunately, we had enough of those, and
and you brought them
they were
together. You
curious.
brought them together, and you brought them together for a good cause, for a great
Voila,
cause, for a great
exactly.
cause. Right? On
Yes.
that note, I must mention our next guest for today.
Yes.
Very popular gentleman. Very spirited, fiery, feisty. I like him. So Shankar Shantiram is the owner and director of the Fire Grill, another very popular restaurant in Malaysia. What I like about what he does, besides he's an executive leadership coach, who kind of helps the corporate sector, in terms of how to say, rising up to find their best potential. He also is an author, of a book called "So You Want to Get Promoted." I keep hearing him on Lite FM Malaysia, where he gives all these, very empowering messages to listeners. He is also a columnist, writing every week for the new Straits Times and for Free Malaysia Today. But what is very compassionate about what Shankar does through the Fire Grill is his Meals Initiative program. And I'm very touched about that. See, because these kind of stories, Julie, I think are much more larger. They're about big heart, personalities doing bigger things, right, than just doing our day to day work or day to day stuff. So Shankar sends out 600 to 700 meals every week to the
Wow.
underprivileged of Malaysia. I have no clue how he manages to do that, but every week on Shankar, puts this lunch boxes together. As I said, 600, 700 meals is not a small number. That's a big number, to kind of manage that week after week. But he does that beautifully through the Fire Grill, restaurant that he has. Great South Indian food from what I've seen, all recipes drawn from his mom, from his grandmom, a lot of storytelling that happens with his food. So I'm going to bring him online. I hope he's there online with us. Shankar, are you here? There you are. There you
Of
are.
course, I'm here. Good
Welcome.
evening, ladies. Hello.
Hello.
Welcome. Shankar, welcome. Great pleasure
Thank
to have
you.
you here.
Been here for
You
the
know,
last few minutes listening to Julie. Excellent work, man. You do really. I wish I could have just dived in and grabbed some of the food that you were giving.
Let me have
Yeah.
another bite just for you.
No, that is so unfair. I live in Taman Tun, Dr. Ismail, in 20 minutes or whatever from wherever you are in Kuala Lumpur. I'll get it grabbed to my house and then we'll eat together. All right?
With pleasure. With pleasure.
That's great. Thank you,
Yeah.
Ethel. Thank you,
You're
Ethel,
most
for
welcome.
having me on.
Most
I'm
welcome.
sorry. I know you've asked me to come on a couple of times, and I've always been really busy and with work and the other stuff that I
Yes.
do.
I completely understand, but you made it today, so I'm
Happy
really
to be
grateful.
here. Really
Really
happy to be
grateful.
here.
So today's entire theme is about the power of food to create good, and I've been seeing that like I was telling Julie. Julie's been in Malaysia for the past 20 years. I've been just 16 months, and I've like I was telling her, Malaysia is the most compassionate country that I have I have the honor of
Right.
being part of her. And all the food initiatives that I've been seeing that is happening, especially in this lockdown, has been huge, Shankar. I mean, huge. I see people opening up purse strings. I see, food being sent out. I see essentials being shared. I have no clue how you put together 600 to 700 meals on a weekly basis with the Fire Grill. Let's hear that.
750 meals every week.
Yes, every week. I have
That's
no
our
clue.
target. We've
I
ramped
have
up.
no clue how you do that. It's huge.
And since we started 15 months ago, we have now hit 28,640 meals.
Oh
Wow.
my God. Wow.
So
Bravo.
we haven't stopped. Thank
Bravo.
you. It is
Bravo.
through the people that I know. It is through the people that I reach out to who have come and said, like you're doing a good thing, and we'd like to contribute. We'd like to help. We'd like to, what's happened over the last year. Over the last year, we've all last 15, 16 months. It's never happened. I'm 50 years old right now, and this has never happened in my life.
Yes.
I've never experienced being locked in my own house before.
Correct. Yes.
I mean, I'm not a criminal, so I haven't gone to prison yet. I might still go. You never know. In the future, I might do some nonsense and get there. But I haven't gone. So I think for a lot of us, we've heard our forefathers, our grandparents who lived through the Second World War, for example, talk about how life was before 1940 and after 1945. The world changed.
Yes.
And I really think we've hit a watershed period in our existence again after 60, 70 years. I know, Julie, you may have experienced war-torn life in other parts of the world, but across the globe, this is like the Third World War, literally.
Yes.
We've all had to stop. Everyone, from people in Europe and people in Africa and people in Asia, Oceanic spots in all the Americas, everyone's undergoing the same thing, right?
Yeah.
Correct.
And over the last 17 months, we've all had to recalibrate, rethink about what is it that makes us tick? What are we doing?
Yes.
And why we are doing it, and what is the purpose of what we do what we do. I very gracious, you were very gracious earlier, Ethel, by telling everyone what I do. I write 2 columns. I write for Malaysia's oldest English language newspaper. I have a weekly column. I've been doing that for 6 years. I write for an online publication called Free Malaysia Today, which is the largest kind of news portal in Malaysia, online news portal. I have a radio show on Lite. Prior to the 2 years that I've been doing it now, I did for 10 years. I was on the business radio station in Malaysia BFM. I have TV shows on and off. And I run a training and management consulting company. Apart from that, I have a few other businesses. So when the world came crashing down in March of 2020, last year, when we were all just told to stay put and not go anywhere, and within 3 or 4 days, I realized that I had this restaurant. I have this restaurant still called the Fire Grill, and I've had it since 2015. And it was just at that time the lockdown started in March of 2020, and
Correct.
I had closed my previous iteration of the same restaurant. It was a bistro, a neighborhood bistro bar called Legends Bar in Taman Pur. It was quite famous. And I decided that, for the work that I do and my public profile, I didn't want to own a bar because I didn't want to deal with drunk punters all the time. Whenever I went in, I'm like, oh God, this doesn't work for me. Because I was more invested. When I bought it as a bar because it was a neighborhood place, and I started changing it from what it was to becoming a much more gastro-oriented bar, and that's what it was. So I decided 2 years ago in 2019 to close it. I closed it in September of 2019. 3 months I shut down. I kind of dug the whole place out and rebuilt it completely. Spent close to 700,000-800,000 ringgit to put it up again. Not as I didn't spend as much money as my dear friend Chef Yogi does with his iterations. He's a bit more grandiose in what he does. Mine is just a simple neighborhood restaurant still, but still you have to spend that kind of money. And I picked up all the money that I could and invested and did stuff and borrowed and did all sorts of other things. And then we launched on the 28th of December 2019, and we were open for 2.5 months before the MCO, the Movement Control Order, started. So I didn't have any time to recoup any investment. We opened, we respent, we had great reviews because I changed it from a bar to a restaurant, which was an Asian-influenced grill-based restaurant, which you may like, Julie, because of the grill stuff that we do, meats and vegetables and all sorts of other things. But then we had to shut. So I was quite depressed for the first week when it closed. And I thought, what am I going to do? And I wasn't depressed about my work and all the other things that I do. I think those things I had to figure out. And I was lucky. My wife is a vet. And, we both of us, we have no children. We're not wealthy, but we have enough to not, be destitute. So I sat back and I went, what am I going to do with the people that work with me? I've got 60 employees in all my businesses across the board in all the spaces. And I got depressed for about 2 days. And I always have this thing in my head, and I've done this for the best part of the last 25 years, is I allow myself to wallow in depression for about 2 days when I don't know what to do, and I get annoyed and I'm upset and pissed off with life and everything else. And on the third day, I thought, I got to do something about this. I've got to really do something about this. So I got my team together and I said, okay, listen, I don't know when we're going to open the restaurant. The restaurant is open. We plummeted by 90% in terms of revenue because we can only do deliveries and takeaways.
Right.
But what we have is we have a space, we have chefs, me included, we can all cook. And we have a lot of people in our vicinity and our community that have issues, who are day workers. We have a lot of keyboard warriors who kept on saying that, stay home, stay safe, stay home,
Yes,
stay safe.
yes. Of course.
It's easy to say stay home and stay safe when you have a fixed income coming every month. Whether you
Correct.
work in the office or work at home, if at the end of every month you go to your teller machine and press the ATM machine and your salary has been credited, 40% only 40% of the Malaysian working population have fixed income jobs. 60%
Yeah.
don't. They
I
are
agree.
day workers. They are people who are, and there's a Malay saying. The Malay saying is kais pagi makan pagi, kais petang makan petang, which means whatever you earn today in the morning, you use that to eat that evening.
Right.
And whatever you earn in the evening is what you have for dinner.
Yes,
so
because
you earn, you eat.
people love to eat. People love to eat in Malaysia.
So we have a problem. We had a problem, and it's actually quite an acute problem. A lot of people don't realize that. Julie's doing this. Other people are doing this right now. There is a huge problem with the number. I mean, every day we get requests for more and more food.
Yes.
Families that need food, families that can't put food on their table, while the numbers are escalating. But we seem to reach a bigger number of people getting inoculated, and everyone is saying you can open restaurants now, so on and so forth. Yes,
right.
it's great. It's great if you have a fixed income and you can go out and eat. It's great if you have a fixed income and you can do whatever you want to do as you please. But for a very large segment of our population, they don't have this. So I got my team together and I said, we've got to do something. We've got a space. We've got to make this work. Not make this work, meaning make what we have work for the situation right now. And the situation right now is that we need to forget about profitability, forget about earning money. Everything that we earn needs to go out to help our community. And my team said, "Us, excellent. As long as you keep us in employment, we are completely happy to do whatever you want us to do." I said, "Great. That's all I want to hear from you guys. Let's go."
Correct.
And we started. And now it's 15 March, so it's May, June, about another 6 months. We're talking about 17 months right now. And we've given out 28,000 meals, and we continue to do it. We're reopening the restaurant for dine-in on the 15th of September. But I have committed to all the people that I'm delivering food that I will continue to give 750 meals a week.
Wow.
And this is for a very small 8-person restaurant. 8, 9, 10 of us. That's all. We're not a big organization. Very small restaurant. We've raised to the tune of it's 5 ringgit a meal. All right, that's how we put out our meal. So 5 ringgit a meal times by 28,640. I have a calculator right in front of me. 143,000 ringgit. 75% of that 75% of that money has come from well wishers. People have actually said, "Here, take. I'll give you this." Our customers, people that we reach out and say, like, "We're doing this. Would you like to help us?" So 75% of that has come. 25% of that has come, up close to 40,000 ringgit has come from us. So we've plowed all, and 40,000 ringgit is, nobody's making any profit right now. Speak to any restaurateur, he or she will tell you that, we're just barely, we're in debt. Everyone is in debt.
Yes.
So we've actually taken all our revenue and we've just paid our staff, paid our rent, and we've had really good people who've helped us, like our landlords and and suppliers who've given us much longer credit terms and so on. But we've taken all that money and we've put it back to this project. And this is what I think everyone needs to understand. When everything reopens again, go to whatever restaurant, go to wherever you want to go, but go and support the people who supported the country during its darkest time. That's something which is very important.
Absolutely.
We shouldn't forget about all these big names that just open restaurants and do sweet FA, I say, nothing else. Just sit, and hope that they are in India, you're Indian, you're from Goa. Mouse, people use the word, but their mouse will carry them for Julie, mouse in India, South India especially, mouse means you're famous, FAMOUS, your mouse carries you a long way,
I see.
And we should stop that. We should go out, we should patronize, we should be with people who came out and helped our community and who still continue to help our community, genuinely went out and did things. Because
Yes.
that's a lesson for all of us, isn't it?
Yes, correct. Yeah, and we were just saying, before you came online with us, that Malaysia is such a compassionate country
It
because
is.
people really give out of their heart, and I've seen it.
Well,
I've seen in action.
Malaysia can be a compassionate country under the right circumstances. All right.
Yes.
Sometimes we also behave badly in Malaysia. You know this also.
I know this too. That is true.
I don't have any food to share with you because I was at the restaurant, then I had to go for multiple meetings, then I just came back home and got shaved to look, nice because I knew two pretty ladies were going to be here. And I needed to look nice. So the only thing I can offer you is a gin and tonic. Ladies and gentlemen, I'm having
Cheers
a
to
drink.
that, Shankar. I
Cheers.
think Julie has some water with her.
Yes,
Cheers.
I do. Santé. Yeah, cheers.
Okay,
Santé, Julie.
this is really to commend the work that you do, Shankar, and Julie has been doing in this particular field, because I've been actively watching all that, and I felt so inspired. So I said, let's let's create this this conversation so that we inspire and get people to also whether it's opening up their purse strings or giving contributing their time
and doing anything you can to reach out and to help people, because there's so many people out there. All they need is for you to spend a few minutes asking them, how you doing?
Yes.
Do you need anything?
Yes.
Somebody to hold, somebody to touch, because we've become quite disconnected as a people, as the human race. We if you live in a 500, 600 square feet apartment somewhere, and you haven't gone out for the last 3 months because you are afraid, you have all these movement controls. At the same time, you look at the numbers of the COVID cases, even in Malaysia or in India and other parts of the world. Older people who are alone, think that and I do this radio show every morning called The Right Perspective with SHANKAR SANTHIRAM on Lite FM, but I share the platform with a couple of psychiatrists, Dr. Philip George and Dr. Joe Low, and every time they talk about the incidences of mental illness increasing over the last 17, 18 months, because loneliness is a real disease for a lot of people, because there's no connection, no community connections, and so on and so forth. So wherever you are, whether you're in India and Bangladesh and other parts of Europe, if you can give whatever you can, but more importantly, all of us can give a little bit of ourselves to others.
Absolutely. I completely agree with that. And like you mentioned, Bangladesh, yes, we have, we have Faisal from Bangladesh who logs in and says, greetings from Bangladesh. So he joins in every Friday to watch the show. And then he has good conversations after that. Faisal, thank you. Thank you for being online with us. Puvan says, so Malaysia says, if life gives you a lemon, I say, let's make vodka lemon. I completely agree with that.
If life gives you a lime, have a gin and lime. What I'm having right now.
I completely agree. So Puvan has, Puvan also lost his job. Puvan used to work with the tourism industry in Malaysia. And as soon as the pandemic happened, that was the first thing.
My column in the New Straits Times today is about people who've lost jobs. It's about the fact that we just celebrated our Independence Day a few days ago.
Yes.
We are 31st of 64 years of being independent, and the celebrations were quite muted this year, and people actually we really don't have much to celebrate. But this is a good time to recalibrate and think about how we came together as a nation to start off with, how we are a multicultural society and a multi-ethnic society, how we have we've bandied together to make things work for ourselves over the years. I think we need to sometimes reconnect with those emotions. And keep ourselves going.
Yes, I agree, because as I said, I'm an observer too. I kind of watch, absorb, listen, and then have a conversation. So since we are talking about food, and we all are foodies in our own way, and we have a connection, we have a relationship. I've seen you, Shankar, when you're putting together your videos and putting your recipes together, you do it with such passion, and most times I'm on the other end salivating, because like I was telling Julie,
I did send you a box. I did send you a box once, right?
Yeah, you did, and I wolfed it down, like finger licking, wolfing it down, because Julie and me, we can't cook at home. We don't know how to cook.
Shh, don't say that. It's a secret.
Ladies,
everyone think I'm an amazing cook. I'm French. I should be an amazing cook.
Julie, you're French. You bring such disrepute to the Frenchness in you, for not knowing how to cook. And this is quite exciting for me. I'm with two lovely women who can't cook. This is how it is, right?
Modern women.
But the
Modern women, yes.
modern man can cook,
Yeah.
We have to heal the world. We have more important things to do.
Correct. Like
And heal the world. One of the easiest ways of healing the world is through food.
Yes, exactly.
That is true. But you can have others to do it, right?
That's right.
So that was my next question, leading to, building a relationship with food, because in today's time, health being of primary focus, right? So I look at food as a great relationship between health, wellness, and now also doing good. How do we tie this thing together in the spaces of what you also do to the community, right?
You may have heard of a chef. Not really. He's not a chef. He's a TV celebrity chef called David Rocco.
Yes.
And he does, David Rocco's Dolce Vita. He's Canadian, Italian, Canadian, Italian chef. Now, he's a good friend of mine. We became friends. I've appeared in the shows. And we've just finished a book. The two of us, we've written a book together, which we finished it towards the end of 2019, and we were getting it edited at the beginning of 2020. And in fact, we went into lockdown in Malaysia on the 18th of March 2020.
Yes.
David was here in Malaysia on the 17th. He took the last flight out before the airport closed.
Yes.
Yeah, because we were working on the book, and he was working on a couple of other projects here as well. And the book is called Why Food is Everything. So the book that David and I have written, which we haven't published yet, give it some time because of all the pandemic stuff that's going on right now. It's called Why Food is Everything. And the reason why we decided to write that book is because food is a great leveler of everything. Regardless of your status in society, what you do, the attribution that your job gives you, all of us need to eat. And there is a reason why people say, let's sit down and break bread together.
Yes.
Because when you take that piece of bread and you break it, you hold that bread, you break it, you pass it to the other person, immediately all the animosity that you have with each other in any situation, breaking bread together, I mean, it's a very biblical thing. When you break bread together, it's essentially saying, listen, we'll put all our shit aside right now.
Correct.
Whatever crap that's going on, we'll put it aside and come back to basics. The basics is, you're a human being, I'm a human being. We both need to eat. Come, let's eat.
Yes.
We stop for a while, stop fighting, stop everything else. We just eat first, get satiated, then we go.
Correct.
And I think there are three, for me, I've always felt, my parents are educators. My father is a university professor, and my mother was a school teacher. I think there are three jobs that I find are the noblest jobs in the world. Please, all the other people who have got other jobs, don't panic, don't get upset with me. This is just my thing in my own head, right? I've always said this. And I am a trained lawyer. That's my job. I can go to court and do stuff. And 25 years ago, I decided I didn't want to be a lawyer anymore. And much to the irritation and annoyance of my folks at the time, who spent a lot of money sending me to England to study. I came back, worked as a lawyer for a couple of years, and then told my parents, I don't want to do this, I'll do something else. My parents were like, what?
Yes.
typical Indian folks, Julie, you don't know what Indian parents are like. I mean,
I know so well.
So you're connected with that, right? So,
very well.
I'm
married to an Indian. Okay?
I know. I was just going to say the name Julie Das. Obviously, you didn't get it in France, did you?
I love my in-laws. Can I send a message? My in-laws are amazing.
Now you can tell the truth about your in-laws, all right?
No. My mother-in-law is an amazing cook.
Typical Indian parents. My father and mother, in school teacher, university professor, traveled worldly wise. You would have imagined they are absolutely easy. My son, you can do whatever you want. We encourage you. My father was a professor of education, more than, if you can imagine. He was he taught teachers how to teach. That was his job.
Wow.
and like, when I said I don't want to do this, much to the irritation of my parents, I went on to. I didn't want to be a lawyer. I ended up being a teacher again because I taught law for the longest time, and then I moved on to teach other things, and eventually I moved on to business because teaching doesn't pay enough, and I wanted to enjoy the finer things in life. Therefore, I moved on to do other things. But I've always felt there are three jobs in the world that are very noble. The first job is the job of a teacher. Anyone who's a teacher, that's why there is a Sanskrit saying, Mata Pita Guru Devam, which means mother. This is when you think about the hierarchy of God. God only comes at the fourth rung. The first rung is your mom, Mata, your mother. Your mother, you follow your mother's feet because your mother does everything for you. Mata, and then your father, and then it's your guru, and then only it is your God. And so I've always felt that teaching was a big thing. So I think that's one job that's good. The other job, anybody who is a healer, so that means a doctor, a nurse, a veterinarian, anyone. My wife is a vet. Anyone who is healing others.
Yes,
I think that's a noble job. And the third job is anyone who's feeding others.
Wow,
that's a noble job. If you feed people, and that's my philosophy in life. It's like I ended up I as a leadership coach, I teach. I'm covering 2 out of the 3, and I got married to the third, so I'm good.
Yeah. I think
I'm planning to book. I've already strategized how to book my place in heaven. I'm sorted.
It's such a beautiful transition too, Shankar, because I did not know about the lawyer part of it and stuff like that. Wow, yeah, that is good. I'm going to bring a comment of one of our who's online with us saying, "Yep, agreed. Food is a great leveler, to support what you're saying, regardless of your status in society, and
absolutely in Malaysia, right? Regardless of your status in society, you either love durian or you freaking hate it. That's it.
Correct.
There's no in between.
There's no in between.
Julie,
yes.
As an honorary Malaysian, are you a durian lover?
I'm a jackfruit lover,
No,
but
you're not answering my question.
I'm a belacan lover. Is that enough?
That's not enough. I need to know about durian.
Okay, you know what? Durian to me smells like the drain in Calcutta, and that is quite pungent. So I can't do durian. I can do belacan. I thought that was enough.
Okay. Semi Malaysian then. Semi Malaysian. That's okay.
Yeah, I have to confess.
Durian?
Oh my God, I have to confess my experience. So I had a very crazy first time, but the durian was masked in a cheesecake. I had two.
You can never mask durian. What are you talking about?
I know. So so I had 2 bites of it, Shankar, and I gagged. So I had the choke gag reflex that happened and then unknowns to me, I went and had 2 cocktails over that. So I had a heat coming out of my head and my hair, and my ears.
You'd never have durian and alcohol after that.
Yeah, it's dangerous actually.
Yes, I know somebody had told me that.
My wife is Austrian, and before we've been together, we've been married now. We've been together 15 years or so, and the deal was when we got together, we said, okay, I said, you need to pass the durian test.
Yes.
If you can pass the durian test, then we'll get married. It's no problem. My wife eats durian, loves belacan. We have a jackfruit tree at home,
Wow.
and on top of all of that, she insists on having patai every so often.
Oh my God!
So
wow.
my wife will call me and tell me things like, "What are we doing for dinner?" And I'm like, "You want something for the restaurant? I'm here. I can make something. What do you want?" And I'm always ready. I'm giving food, 750 meals to people, and then I tell my wife, that I want to, do something for you. I'll cook something. She goes like, "No, can you just buy some durian and come back home? That's all I want. I just want some
I need
durian."
to speak to her. How she overcomes the smell.
Yes, I know.
She loves it. Absolutely loves it. She's actually waving. She's waving at me, saying something. What? I can't hear you. Oh! She just told me to tell you all that not only durian. She's here. She's just there. outside the room waving at me. Obviously, she's also one of the viewers today.
Yes.
She not only likes durian, patai, belacan, and jackfruit, she also likes chicken legs. The feet, chicken feet that you get in one tandoori. Oh God, that's the other drama that I have, because she will call me. I'm saying, okay, I'll make this really beautiful South Indian chicken curry that I learned from my grandmother 40 years ago. Oh, let's do this. You're putting chicken legs on it. I'm like, God almighty. God, look, I don't want to do that.
I have to confess, I still have to get myself to even do that, because I see them, at different places, and I just stand there and I stare, think, how does one put that into one's mouth?
I'm telling you, Ethel, you need to come for some private classes with my wife, and she'll teach.
Let's start a training.
That's right. That's my new training program. How to get foreigners to eat durians by my wife. You know what I mean? So, I know she was waving at me from outside, pointing at her hands, and then she showed me her legs, and then I thought, right, I got it. I got what she said.
Yeah. Julie, sounds like a plan for the two of us to make it, make it a Shankar.
I'm on, yeah.
Right. So Shankar, how long do you see the meal initiative program being part of the entire thing? Or
it's interesting because we started in March, and then when they reopened, we slowed down a bit and thought everything was going back to normal, and then they shut us down once, and then we thought, okay, we'll start again, and then they shut it down again. This time it's been a hell of a long time. This time, a heck of a long time, 3 months now.
Yes.
And we haven't been able to do anything, 3+ months.
Correct.
And this time I got my team together again, and I said, listen, should we stop after this? And they went. They went, not me. I mean, I knew what I wanted to do, and they went, no, boss, we should do it, because the numbers of people who are calling us, we're getting calls from interesting people. The Orang Asli settlement. There's an Orang. A lot of people don't realize there's Orang Asli native people in Malaysia, who were who were quite displaced. And even in we think, okay, you have to go to the jungles of Pahang, or you have to go into Sarawak to find these native people. That's not true. 20 minutes away from Kuala Lumpur, the city center, there's a place called Bukit Lanjan that has got 260 families who are, that development has taken over their land.
Oh,
okay. So this high-rise building, just you can see it where if you go to one of their homes, you can actually see it, but they live under very difficult circumstances. They haven't been given educational opportunities. But that's another talk for another day about the politics of Malaysia. But these people, 260 families, they struggle with food every day. And so my team, you know what, we can't stop. So you know what we've done? We have changed. We are reopening on the 15th of September, because by the powers that be, through their infinite wisdom, have decided that we can all open restaurants. Am I allowed to say idiots in this show? Yes, we are governed by idiots sometimes. But no, I didn't say that. It must be the gin. But they decided to open, and we said we're going to think about how we're going to do it again this time, not just rush in and open. We open on the 15th. But I've decided to change my opening times at the restaurant simply for that. I'm foregoing my lunch business right away.
Okay.
And we will open for business at 4 o'clock in the afternoon. And the reason, and open for, we have something called the aperitivo hours every day. We come and have small bites and have a drink after you work and everything else. Then we go on to dinner service at 6. But the reason why we're doing that is because we've decided we want to continue with our food project, and we want to continue to give 750 meals regardless of this.
Yes.
Because people sometimes think that you're only poor during the pandemic. Or you only need during the pandemic. That's
Correct.
not true.
That's not true. That's not true at all. Fantastic. Fantastic.
Yeah, so we're going to carry on. So answer your question. Yeah, we're going to carry on. As long as I keep the restaurant open.
Fantastic. Julie, we've been talking about what you have been doing also, for such a long time. Why is it so important, as we kind of wind down? It's such a fantastic, 60-minute odd that has happened, talking about the power of food. So I keep saying, food.
70 minutes now.
No, it's more than that. We keep saying, I keep saying food for world peace, and Shankar just endorsed it, by saying that, yes, that is the power of, food, what it can do when you break bread with everybody, and enemies can become friends. Why do you think, it is so important in today's time to give back, Julie?
Well, for me, giving back just give me a sense of fulfillment, yeah, and accomplishment. I just could not imagine to see so much of misery and suffering around me and not helping out. Yeah.
Yeah.
So giving back is part of my life. When I ask myself every morning, why am I on earth? I'm on earth to give, to share, to help others in need, and to give them this equal chances, right, to have a decent life. They were forced to flee, the refugees. Yeah, it was not their choice. That is very important to remember. They come here looking for a better life. They do say
Yes.
that their life is better to some extent. There's no bombing and no rapes and so on, but
Yes.
it's still miserable because they have no rights. So for me, what I'm doing is really to give them a good platform, creating those jobs in baking, cooking, and tailoring, educating them, teaching them English, helping them with their mental health, helping them to have a decent life and a decent earning. Yeah, that is
Yes.
really
Yes.
important. When people ask me for a discount for an article that we are selling, or I'm like,
Right.
do you know that what you're buying, it's one-to-one given to them? Yeah,
Yes.
please do not bargain.
Yes. Yes. Correct. Yes.
I know exactly how you feel, Julie. When I'm
Yeah,
doing this food project, we have to give out 750 meals a week. We need the money to
Yes.
be able to fund that. And when someone
yeah,
asks me for a discount, I go like,
What are you
yeah,
dude,
saying? Right.
do
Yeah.
you know what we do? You know,
yeah,
Yes. Correct.
exactly.
why can't you give? You give. If you don't, I understand. If you want to be part of my meals project, if you want me to send you food, I will. But if you
Mm,
can
mm.
buy my food, don't ask me for a discount. You know?
Yes.
Exactly.
Correct. Yeah. I completely agree. We also have a very interesting comment here which says anyone who eats durian will pass a COVID test.
Okay, I'll
All
start.
right. We will try. Honestly, we will try. We will try. We also have, Seet also who's here who says, hello, Ethel. Hi. And thank you for joining us. Yeah, we still, people stay on to the show. I love that. I love that. And then after the show is all over, I would request Shankar and Julie engage with the comments, drop in maybe
We will.
links or
We will.
contacts.
Will do.
People can reach out to you and,
Sure.
and support
Absolutely.
whatever that you're doing.
So
No
are you
problem.
are you coming to my place? How am I gonna eat all this food?
Oh my gosh.
I,
Let's not even get there.
I can't, Julie, I can't drink and drive.
You won't get alcohol. Well, you already have, but at my place, it's alcohol free.
Yeah, sure.
At my place, it's not.
Julie runs a halal home completely.
Yeah,
Fair enough.
Right?
Good.
Yes, yeah. We're talking about that. Great.
exactly. Okay,
I
thank
think
you.
yeah, we will have to, we will have to bring this all together and kind of,
Mhm.
wind the show down. Because as I said, we can talk for hours together, because I think it just so much to kind of discuss and, and share to all our listeners, to everyone who will also watch the video in replay because it gets shared all over the place and all across the forums.
You will tag us, right, when you
Yes,
replay it on
yes,
your
yes,
great.
yes.
Excellent.
Because a lot of viewers in India too watch what happens. It's
Hello,
also
India.
it's also a glimpse for them, into what's happening in Malaysia, and I love that to be able to bridge both, India and Malaysia together. So even friends at the embassy also watch and stuff. So I love that. I love the fact that food is bringing people together, and we are sharing such lovely stories. So every Sundays I run a contest on my Instagram handle. It's called the Sunday IG contest. Basically, to kind of to also do like a give back that also happens in there. So I had run this contest, in conjunction with Merdeka Day, on who is the father of Malaysia's Independence Day.
Hang on, I have to call you out on this. You have to say it again. Let's do this lesson again. Merdeka.
Merdeka. Okay, sorry.
Very Indians can roll our tongue. We have no problem with that.
Merdeka.
That's right. Ethel, you are going to be, if you're going to be an honorary Malaysian, you need to be able to say these words.
Right.
Merdeka.
Yeah,
Merdeka.
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 Sorry.
So we ran the contest, and we had a lot of people who participated on the Instagram handle answering the contest. So the right answer, the father of Malaysia's Independence Day, the right answer is Tunku Abdul Rahman, and the winner of this particular contest is Christian Sebastian Pillai. Christian, if you're on the show, congratulations. You have won a cute little a moon cake hamper that comes from Sweeby Baker by Baker Dave. who does this very organic, traditional moon cakes. He was on our show last Friday. So you win a small, a gift hamper from him. Congratulations. I will get in touch with you, again to kind of coordinate addresses and locations and pickups. So thank you, everyone. Thank you, Shankar, and thank you, Julie.
Thank
for
you,
making
Terima
this time.
kasih.
Thank you
Yeah,
for
this was
having us
awesome.
on.
This was really awesome, to have both of you share, your experiences. Very heart to heart conversations. I love that, and I think that's the very idea, is to get behind, what makes you and me, all of us, tick, from a very soul spirit level. So Shankar, great job, awesome job with the Meals Initiative. Julie, you are changing so many lives, because as I said, I'm on certain groups that we are part of, and they talk so highly of Good at Action. So congratulations. In whichever way that I can help the two of you, please reach out. I'm here to support as much as I can.
We will reach out now. We need help from you, and we'll keep harassing you like how you harassed us to come onto your program also. Tit for tat. All right.
Tit for tat. Yes. I'm more than happy.
Thank you.
More than happy to still support, and whatever gifts that I have, to put it out there too, to create greater good. And
it's just about spreading awareness. That's all we need. That's the best help you can give. Yeah.
Yes. Yeah.
And
I will do so.
And all the best, Ethel, for more shows. And I hope you have a great, audience.
Thank
and you start building the audience out.
Thank you. I'm enjoying it. I'm having great fun with what has been created. Yeah, it's good fun. It's it's a kind of give back. That also.
It is,
because, as I said, it's a gift that I have. The gifts are being put out, and it's if it makes a difference, so be it. It's a mission and a life well lived. So thank you, Julie. Thank you, Shankar. Have a great. Oh, thank you. Shukran.
Shukran.
Have a great weekend. Friday night, Saturday. Keep doing the good that you do. Make a difference. Change the world, and let's change it together. Let's get the champions to come together to change the world. So thank you. Thank you very much. Thank you.
Jumpa lagi.
Sama-sama. I've learned that. I'm picking up the language too. Thank you, Shankar. And thank you to Susanna too for watching the show.
Take care.
Bye. Good night.
Bye-bye.
To all my listeners who are here and who are, on the show, for being part of the show, awesome comments. I'm going to try to eat the durian, COVID or not. I think, it's one of my bucket lists that I have to get myself to do it somehow or the other. Thank you for being part of the Stiletto Foodie show, episode 7. Thank you for making the time every Friday to log on, into the shows, and then, the shows, the videos gets shared everywhere. Let's support Shankar's work and Julie's work in whichever way that we can through their food initiatives and food programs. Buy her Afghan food because it makes a difference to change the lives of the Afghan refugees that she supports. Shankar's meals program, wow, 700 meals in a week is awesome. I have no clue how it does it, but it's happening every week. So let's do good to receive good, because that's the chain of gratitude and blessings that we build for ourselves. Thank you. Have a great night. Have a wonderful life. Be strong, be safe. Love from your heart. Thank you. And I'm going to see you next Friday. Good night.